Hello and welcome to Lil'Legend Studio. ELEGOO very kindly sent us this Saturn 4 Ultra 12K 3D printer, and today we're going to tell you about our experience with it in the studio, about the amazing prints we've been getting off it and how it's helped artists everywhere.
Right out of the box, ELEGOO includes everything you need to get started. Power cable, USB drive, resin tank, build plate, tools, and a quick start guide. The first thing that stands out? The build quality. It's sturdy, premium, and well engineered. Measuring 327 by 329 by 548mm, it's not the largest resin printer out there, but it strikes a great balance between size and usability. The all-metal construction gives it a reassuring durability, which is great for those long overnight prints. Let's talk about the real star of the show, its features. Here's what makes the Saturn 4 Ultra stand out. It has a 12K monochrome LCD, which delivers a staggering resolution of 11,520 by 5,120 pixels. That's a 19 micron accuracy on the x-axis. What does that mean for you? Sharper details, crisp edges, and smoother surfaces than ever before. Even the tiniest details, chainmail, facial expressions, and textures come out incredibly well defined. It has a tilt release technology, which is one of the most exciting innovations here, which allows it to tilt slightly after each layer to reduce the peel forces. Why is this a game changer? It helps to increase the print speed up to 150mm per hour. It reduces stress on the print, meaning fewer failed prints in the long run. And it allows for larger, more complex models with fewer supports as well. It also has an AI camera and remote monitoring systems. So ELEGOO is really stepping up into the smart printer era here with an AI-powered camera that lets you monitor prints remotely. The camera is capable of detecting print failures, and with future firmware updates it could even provide real-time failure notifications. ELEGOO has refined their design language here. Gone is the old red acrylic cover. Instead, we have a monochromatic grey aesthetic, giving it a professional, almost industrial look. It's a nice departure from their previous Saturn models, which leaned more towards a sci-fi feel. Functionally, the printer has a laser-etched build plate, which drastically improves adhesion. If you've ever dealt with failed prints due to poor adhesion, you'll appreciate this somewhat.
For a machine and a build plate this size, it needs to ensure that stable printing is a #1 priority. And you can see at the back here that it has two Z-axis rails, which means that this one stays nice and solid. Even me tapping it there, I can see there's not really any movement, which is very vital, especially when you're doing taller prints. It also has a AI camera. Now what this allows you to do is access the machine wirelessly so you can see your print in progress, and then if there are any problems you can detect that early and cancel the print remotely. Very handy, especially if you are doing a larger printer. Another undersung design feature here is the flippable lid. You won't believe how many times I've used another printer and had to find another place to put the lid while awkwardly trying to deal with 3D prints. So with this, just being able to flip it back like that and it stay there is a really handy feature. So well done ELEGOO, that's a really good one. So we've got a nice simple menu here, giving you the options print, tool, settings and device info. Now in tool we have a few interesting options here. Of course we've got the standard manual where we can adjust the Z-axis, the LCD screen exposure test to make sure that the screen is working properly, tank cleaning, which is a feature more and more machines are using these days, essentially where they light up the whole screen to cure a single layer on the bottom, helps clear any debris, and of course emergency stop as well, so if there is a problem the machine will stop in its tracks. But then of course you've got something which is very handy, resin calibration. Now something that a lot of people find time consuming and often quite boring is having to run many test prints with different settings to find the best exposure settings for their resin. Whereas with this one, this will run several tests at the same time at different exposure settings, all in one go. So instead of doing 10 different prints and 10 different print runs, you can do a single print run and at the end of it have the exact settings you need. Very handy, and it's a feature that ELEGOO are really pioneering. And of course you've got the device self-test as well, which we may have seen recently, where it runs through all the different systems inside and make sure everything is good to go. However, often at startup this will run as well. So in the settings list, something important to note, you do also have the print mode settings. Something that this printer boasts are very high printing speeds, especially if you use it with ELEGOO's fast resin. Again, a big selling point by them, which is used in conjunction with the tilting build plate. Build plate VAT. Sorry. Another vital feature of this machine is the fast printing features. So if we go into settings and scroll over to print mode, you can see that we can change this from standard to high speed. If used in conjunction with ELEGOO's fast resin, this one can print far quicker than most machines on the market. And this is also thanks to the tilting build vat, which enables quicker release from the FEP sheet as well. We're going to show you a little example of the resin finder. So we're going to click on tool, going to go over to the resin calibration setting, and then we're going to click on the plus sign, local file, and here we've got the XP finder from Frozen already imported. I'm going to import that on there, and what this is going to do is it's going to generate a grid on the machine where it's going to separate each individual file and then allow us to change the exposure settings so that we can find the best exposure as quick as possible. There we are, so now we can see that we can start to adjust the exposure settings individually. So for this one, we'll require time. Now the machine is running the exposure test finder, so within half an hour we'll have new test files so we can see which is the best exposure settings for us.
ELEGOO has also redesigned their light engine to include a Cobb and Fresnel collimating lens. This ensures that there is a more even light distribution across the pixels. This helps to eliminate the issue of blurry edges or uneven exposure on large prints, which was a problem with the older models.
The Saturn IV Ultra has a 12K screen on board. This equates to 11,520 pixels by 5,120. And in total this comes to about 58 million, almost 59 million pixels in total to play with. It's quite a lot, certainly one of the higher resolution printers on the market. Now here in front of us we have some test prints that we've run using the exposure finder. And we come across some interesting results because of this. Now, you'll notice across some of these different ones, some of them look better than others and some of them have some quite serious imperfections. You'll notice that some of these are actually quite squished in certain details. And what we found is this is in part due to the automatic leveling of the printer. Now, ELEGOO describe it as automatic leveling, but it's not really. Essentially, the design pushes the screen into pushes the build plate into the screen, and what this does is ensure that the screen is level. However, this can cause imperfections with squished prints, and this is something that we can actually see on a few of our test pieces here. In various sections on the corners, some of them have lost all of their detail as the resin has been pushed down between the build plate and the screen itself. Now, what this means is it makes it hard to decipher just what settings we need exactly to get the best possible quality. As we look across these different exposure finder pieces here, we can see that some sections are more squished than others, and this makes it difficult to see whether it is overexposed or underexposed. And because of this, it is hard to ascertain that perfect quality, that perfect result. With using the resin that we're using here, I believe it's about 1.1 seconds per layer, and that is in thanks to the Saturn IV Ultra's very strong UV lamp inside as well. Of course, with a screen this size, they do need to make sure that the UV light coming through is very uniform, as an uneven light source can cause imperfections in print quality as well. But looking across all of these, they do have very good sections as well. For example, here we have used AA settings, just very lightly, just to help with some of the curves and some of the layer lines. And actually we do get very nice surface finishes on these. Despite having the squish issues, these prints are still very crispy. And again, the smoothness of the finish is perfect. And again, this is in fact part to the tilt design for the VAT and for the 12K screen there as well, which is still higher resolution than most other printers on the market. Especially for this price point, you would struggle to find specifications as high as these. Having the dual rail system really helps to ensure stability as well, which again it is really going to help with the smooth layer finish. Even on the prints which are a bit overexposed, we can see that the text has come out very cleanly, and that the surface finish, even on the textured areas, are still showing through really nicely as well. So definitely big props to ELEGOO for that. With a medium-sized printer like this, with a perfectly good build plate size of 218 by 122 by 220mm cubed, means you can get some really good sized prints on this. And a lot of people are going to be using this to print action figure size models, maybe some busts here or there. And here is a print that Miles has done earlier of the new Captain Titus from Space Marine 2 in his Primaris war gear. And you can see that the model has come out really nicely, and has really captured the detail from the sculpt, all of the little battle scars across the armour, and even on the largely vertical sections you can't really see any striations, which is a testament to the tilt design. So even things like the chains on his arm are clearly rendered thanks to that very high resolution 12K screen. All the details that the sculptor has brought through has really been rendered nicely. And what this does is it allows us as artists to really bring these amazing ideas to life. Quite often you see these high resolution files online and they don't tend to translate well into physical space. But here, with the capability of the 12K machine, we've really been able to produce some really good models. Thanks to the onboard 12K screen, this is actually the highest resolution printer we currently have in the studio, which means that even printing smaller tabletop sized miniatures, we can still render details very finely. On this small backpack, for example, you can see the skull, and you can even, if you look closely, you can even see the teeth on the skull, the laser eyes, all the small widgets coming off of it. It really is impressive what is achievable and possible with this. And the fact that this can be produced in the studio without external help is truly a testament to what ELEGOO can produce here. Another thing worth noting about this is the speed of printing. Historically, when we've used other printers, we've had to wait maybe 20 or 30 hours for a good high detail bust. However, thanks to the tilt design, it allows for much. Another testament to this printer's design is the speed at which it prints. Thanks to the tilt design of the build vat, what it allows us to do is to churn out high quality prints at an even faster rate. It's no secret that Miles and I are not patient human beings. We want fantastic high quality models quicker. And so, using the speed settings on the machine, we were able to produce this Titus statue at about 15 hours, whereas on our other machines it would have taken about 25 at a similar level of quality. So it serves our impatient needs very well, and it allows us to produce these high quality models in a third of the time. This model you see in front of you, the Space Shark Lord as we like to nickname him in the studio, normally on our upper printers he would take about 8 to 10 hours to print at highest quality settings. Now, thanks to ELEGOO's tilt design, we have actually been able to produce this high quality model at the same level of quality in only 4 hours. And there we have it, our review of ELEGOO's Saturn 4 Ultra 12K printer. A fantastic printer that's sure to bring all of your ideas to life, and has certainly helped us out in the studio with making fantastic quality prints very quickly as well.
To sum up the Saturn 4 Ultra's offerings, it gives you that 12K resolution for unmatched detail. The tilt release tech helps to speed up prints and improves reliability. Auto leveling and AR monitoring for ease of use, refined build plate for better adhesion, and an improved light source for fewer print failures. It does have a slightly smaller build volume than some competitors, and a higher price tag compared to some standard printers such as their Mars offerings. The AI camera features do still need firmware updates though to reach their full potential. Is the ELEGOO Saturn 4 Ultra worth your money? If you're an experienced hobbyist or a professional who demands flawless, ultra-detailed prints, this printer is a fantastic investment. If you're on a tighter budget, you might want to consider the older Saturn 3 Ultra or another mid-range option. But if you want next-level print quality, the Saturn 4 Ultra delivers in every aspect. Thanks for watching. If you found this review helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more 3D printing content. Got any questions? Drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, happy printing.